Good morning and good morning, everyone. I am Lolita E. Walker. I'm so excited to be here today. I was just cracking up about the topic because I happen to know for a fact that there's some people inside of the room that do not love roller coasters the same way I do. Today's topic is roller coaster railways. Hold on. Hold on as we roll on this roller coaster ride right here. In reality is I'm a life an executive coach. I'm a certified life leadership and executive coach. And here's the thing, life is all about roller coasters. So even if you don't like a roller coaster per se, we know that our life can exhibit, we can experience ups and downs and twists and turns. And so if you are not a roller coaster fan like I am, then I just want you to think about the notion and the nature of a roller coaster as we go on this journey today for this power half an hour. So I want to say hey to everybody inside of my Facebook group, inside of that, which is Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Breakfast with Champions, and of course, my podcast, Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. I love where we are able to talk a little bit about exactly what's going on here, what's going on in our lives, and then apply it to work, to life, to home. So if it's your first time listening in, I'd love to say welcome. If you are not new around here, then pull up a seat because for this power half an hour, I love to go all the way in. And I love to give you amazing acronyms and some pictorials in order to journey you through what I love to call soul work. If you've been here the last couple of weeks and I've been taking you on these journeys of professions, of navigating your way, of what did we do? We were cartographers, we were pulling together maps, right, crafting our way. We have gone on a journey with engineering. I'm an engineer by trade. We've gone on all of these journey and these professions about how to really intertwine them in our lives. And today, though we're not talking a profession, I am going to take you through this notion of holding on. So I've given you all of that influx so that you could already grab your CCNC journal and we can get into this live conversation. I want you to write on the side of your paper the word hold on, HOLDON. And I'm going to take you through this and then we're going to apply it to work, to life, to home. To everybody who has written in already and said, hey girl, hey, I absolutely love it. Hey, to that community on Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you guys for absolutely being here. So we're going to go ahead and get started because what I find is that this half an hour goes so super quick. And I want to give you guys the topics. I want to be able to leverage our platforms. And I think I'll talk about that next week when we come together is how do we best leverage the audience that we have inside of our work, our life, our home. I'm going to start to leverage it a little bit more because even as I talk to you all, I'm challenged by a number of you all who listen in about how I'm also leveraging it or how I'm leveraging the practices that I'm sharing with you all, the tips, the tricks, all of the things. One of the things that I have on here today for a link is my Coaching Cocktails and Conversations podcast and the review for it, right? Why not ask the people who listen all the time for reviews? Why not gift you guys the link? Because whether or not you're listening into me live right here, everything is a part of Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. And so your feedback can be one that somebody else just reads. They're on another platform. They're just on the streaming platforms, Pandora, Amazon, wherever it is you're listening to this podcast. And then they read and say, wow, this person got this. So I want to leave that up for folks. It is bit.ly/Lolita reviews with the L and the R capitalized. And I want to make sure you all have the opportunity to actually share what it is that you've gotten from any of the soul work or the episodes that we have leaned in together. Absolutely love it. All right. So today we're talking about this notion of a roller coaster. Remember, I told you that in my estimation, I know my life has ups and downs and twists and turns and valleys and stops. And sometimes it needs a little bit of maintenance in that pause. What I want to share with you today are aspects of a roller coaster and we being on a roller coaster ride, and then how that can apply to our work, our life, our home. Why? Because we experience it every day. And I want to have you challenge your thinking on how exactly we're looking to push a little bit differently and intently in this year. When we think about the H, it's really all about harnessing. Okay. Just think about your harness. Think about sitting on that roller coaster. And what's the first thing you do? They say, go ahead and pull over the bars because we're about to hold on tight. Why? It's because it's the safety system that keeps riders safe on a roller coaster. It's the safety system. So think about, what does that look like for us? What is our safety system? It could be our support system. It could be your values. It could be your self-care. What does your harness look like in your life? Now, I want you to think about, are you speaking about work? Are you right now in this moment thinking about life? Are you right now in this moment thinking about home? Wherever it is, I want you to get clear on the aspect, because once you understand it, then you can then apply it. Remember, this is all about the soul work that I'm having you do today. It's about thinking differently and challenging your thinking. It's about that coaching where we can think about, this nugget I'm going to take with me because I'm going to shift a little bit differently. The harness of this roller coaster ride, because we're holding on, is about our safety system. It's about keeping us safe. It's about keeping the riders safe on our journey in a roller coaster. And then in life, what does that safety look like? Again, it could be our support system. What are your values that are holding you safe? What's your self-care routine? What is it for you? So I want you to write down what that harness is for you. Now think about it. It is your safety system. What keeps you safe? What does safety mean to you? Okay. That's that piece right there. And then we'll come back to these and be able to, hopefully, as you think about each of these that we're going through, you'll be in a position where you can say, you know what, when you talked about this is what I was thinking about. I always share mine as well. And so as we continue forward, we want to then, after we recognize how we're being harnessed in, what is keeping us safe, then we want to observe. What are we observing? We'll think about the roller coaster. If your eyes are open, at least you're observing all of the highs and lows, the twists, the turns. What does that look like in life? Well, it could look like, I want to observe my surroundings. I want to observe the people that are around me, the people that are actually lifting me up, the people that are actually pushing me. Remember, if you were here last week, I talked about me being challenged and feeling really nervous. I don't get nervous about a lot of things, but what we know is that this nervousness can also be excitement. It could be walking into newness, right? I was speaking with someone on the phone who really challenged me to get them some real information on certain dates. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes it real. This makes it real. When you hold your first book in your hand, it makes it real because it's out in the world. If you're an author and you remember what that first feeling was when you first held your book in your hand, I can tell you what mine was. It was like, oh my gosh, it's this feeling of moving back the curtain because you're exposed. It's this feeling of excitement that, wow, I did this thing. It's that feeling of pressing send on an email that's going to shift your life. It's that feeling of pressing publish on your first podcast. It's that feeling of, oh my gosh, I really am going to write this thing and submit it to a journal. I'm so nervous about it. What will they think? It's that feeling of stepping out on that TEDx stage for the first time. It's that feeling of saying, this is my business and I'm really going to help somebody in it. It's that feeling of somebody giving you a review and you reading it and realize that, wow, this is impact, right? All of these things are this newness and this excitement and this nervousness and this bubbly feeling of the butterflies that also you get. I know that I've gotten when I joined my church for the first time, or any of those feelings, the newness of the unknown. In life, it's your feelings, it's your reaction, it's those observations, it's those things that once you really dig in and you observe what you're feeling, what's around you, you can make clear decisions. It's awesome. This is what the roller coaster ride of life can teach us. This is what pieces of our everyday life can teach us if we just sit down and look at the lessons that are right in front of us. I get so excited about this stuff. So I hope as you're writing down these acronyms that I'm gifting to you today, that you're really thinking about how this is applicable to you. I love that. All right, let's keep going. We want to now lean in. So we have our harness, right? We have our safety system with us. We're recognizing what feels like safety to us and in our life, what our support system looks like, what our self-care looks like. Are we holding on to what our values really are? Are we challenging ourselves there? Sometimes we got to redesign our roller coaster. That's okay too. Right, we're observing already. We're looking around. We're recognizing that if our eyes are open on our roller coaster ride, I know mine's are. My hands are up. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. I'm feeling this feeling. I'm observing. Right, I'm really observing that drop that's about to come. I'm observing how high we are. I'm observing the other people that maybe somebody I'm sitting beside. I want us to observe our surroundings, our feelings, our reactions because they're there. Then that L is really about leaning into the twists and turns. If you're a roller coaster fan, and sometimes when you lean into it, it just is more exhilarating, right? When you lean into it, sometimes it actually uh, releases that feeling of nervousness that you might have felt before because you're all the way in. It's not going to be a straight path, everybody. So I want you to remember to embrace the journey. Put your arms up and lean in. Put your arms up and lean in and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the nervousness of what's to come. Maybe this is the first time you've ridden this roller coaster, but you've heard all about it. As you were standing in that super long line, then you were looking at the ups, the downs, the turns, the twists. How high is this thing? Why did you even sign up to get on this thing anyway? If you're on it, let's ride it. If you're on it, let's commit. If you're on it, let's lean in to where it is that our journey is taking us. If you're on it, then you already know that guess what? There's going to be some stumbling blocks along the way, but I'm leaning all the way in because I'm too far in to turn back now. I'm too far in to turn back now. So I have the opportunity to design and redesign. I have the opportunity to shape and then reshape. We've chatted that before as well. We have the opportunity to do those things, and I want to make sure that we are prepared and confident enough to be able to build this thing. Linnell Burns said, hey, my beautiful friend. Hey, Linnell, it's so good to see you. Yes, I want to make sure that we are all in for holding on. Because guess what? The roller coaster, we done stood in the line. We're already sitting on there, and the roller coaster is going to start regardless of what it is we're feeling in this moment. So let's make the best use of this ride that we can. Then I want us, because now we're leaning all the way in, our hands are all the way up. Then I want us to dare to even ride another roller coaster. In life, I want you to dare to live. I want you to dare to take risks, to dare to say yes to the butterflies. What do? We own our yes and we respect our no's, but what if we never dared to do it in the first place? I want you to dare to bust down that door next door. I want you to dare to ask the questions, can you help me on my journey? I want you to dare to ask for that promotion that you know you needed, but you're so nervous to ask for it. You already have the no. Who told you that you're not worthy of asking the question? I want you to think about that. Okay. All right. Let's keep on going, guys, because I get so into this and I want to make sure that we leave some room for some other folks to come on into the room as well. And so we are holding on. We're holding on in these two other strategies. I want you to think about it because you're writing in your CCNC journal and you're thinking about how this is going to impact you. And so we want to now overcome. Overcome what? The fear of the drop. The fear of the drop. Let me change this because I have a typo right there. The fear of the drop is indeed real, everybody. Some people don't get on a roller coaster at all because the fear of the drop is real. Now, mind you, if you've gotten on a roller coaster and you've decided, hey, this thing isn't for me because I didn't like any parts of it, I don't like what it does to my body, then I get it. But even though you might have been there, I want you to think about life being this roller coaster ride. And we're not getting off of it until the good man calls us home. We're not getting off of it, but I want you to know that we're going to overcome this fear of the drop. What does that mean in your life? We could overcome the fear of what we are saying inside of our minds. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not good enough to do this. Oh, I had one yesterday, actually. I was talking to one of my professors. You know, I tell y'all all the things. I was talking to one of my professors, and in this year that I'm in now, it's imperative that I submit to journals for my research. And I was telling him, I said, I did work on a paper last year and I thought it was okay. But then when I went to get feedback in another class, they challenged me in ways I was like, oh man, I need to go back. I need to do that. And so that really is what was holding me up from submitting. Now, I need to submit by the end of this month for this conference. Okay. It's the 18th of the month, you guys. And I need to submit by the end of this month for the conference. And he said, well, did you apply? Did you submit? And I said, no, because I got challenged so many different ways that I really need to go back to the drawing board. And then I said to myself, but I already have the no. Why wouldn't I do that? And I'm on here every week telling you to challenge yourself differently. So guess what? This overcoming the fear of the drop. I gave you that example because in my instance, the fear of the drop is real. The fear of rejection is real. But the reality is you will get rejected over and over again. And I've been there on that journey of rejection. And it's okay because it makes you better. Sometimes we got to challenge, and this just happened to me yesterday. Sometimes we got to challenge the things that we are telling ourselves that our mind wants to play tricks on us for. If I told myself that who is going to read this book that you're putting out in the world, and I never would have published. So who tells me that I can't submit to a journal? Now, let's get this right. Academic writing is very different than creative writing, you guys. Regardless, I possess the skill set to be able to do it. So if I've already done the research, then why not submit the work again? Absolutely. So yes, it will be submitted. Done and done. All right. So that's overcoming the fear of the drop. What is your drop that you are fearing right now? Don't forget, you've already been clear on what you're doing this exercise for. So I want to make sure that you're leaning into what we're talking about today. And then I want you to navigate your own roller coaster. Stay in your own lane. The roller coaster that you're on is yours. It's your path. Choose who you want to bring with you. It's dangerous to try to jump from a moving roller coaster to another. You wouldn't do that in real life. So stop jumping into other people's roller coasters. Add your name at the end. Lolita, stop jumping into other people's roller coasters. You have this whole roller coaster that's yours that you are navigating in this place, in this space. It's a choice to go at it alone. And are you choosing to go at it alone? Because you don't have to. You don't have to. We have a Facebook user that says, lovely lady, we meet again. Well, all right, all right. And then River C. Scott on YouTube. Hey, I absolutely love that. So I want to open it up. And when I open it up, I want to talk to you all about what did you hear? Which which letter, which principle, which strategy resonated with you the most? And then how is it applicable to your life?
Hey, it's Lolita. Oh my gosh, I love what you're saying. I'm over here taking so many notes because the order in which you do things is so imperative, and being able to recognize how you're feeling. You took me through so many journeys of self, of remembering the first time somebody told me like that I was a healer, right? Or and that I was here to help people. I immediately freaked out and I was like, oh my.
We missed you. We lost you. We lost you. But is that just me who lost her? Because sometimes my phone acts up.
We lost her.
Okay. So let me keep on going because when she's back. Okay.
Guys, I flew back to Denver yesterday, so I'm in a different time zone. I'm in a different area. So thank you for being patient. But Queen, you took me back to so many places that helped me to recognize that I'm growing through every second of every day. But I always I love leaning into the perception that I am here. Every morning I wake up, I get to experience the amusement. I'm going to jump in here. So she may come back, and if she does, I'll step aside. So one of the things, my name is Carolyn.
Hey, Carolyn.
I'm also a therapist. And one of the things that I really loved is that we can often look at the surface of things, but when we're looking at a soul aspect of things, we're going deeper. We're going to the core of who we are. So that is so important, is recognizing the core of who we are, and to be patient and loving and gentle with that core. Because
often if we do things, it's not because we truly understand. Sometimes it's ancestral, sometimes we're just associative behavior. Mm-hmm. There's many 1,000 things that why we do things. And it's about being patient and with ourselves and moving forward and doing that soul journey, doing that soul work.
Oh, I love that.
So thank you very much. I really, really loved what you were saying about harness.
Thank you so much. Let me just add to that right there. I appreciate your perspective because, when I engage in soul work, and I called it that for many reasons, some of which you just said there, but sometimes it's really all about digging deep, not just staying at the surface. It's about taking exactly all of these concepts and recognizing how can I apply it to me, to my own work, life, and home. And so I want to take the opportunity now to really talk about work. I want to talk about work. And if you were thinking about an aspect of work while you were doing this soul work of holding on your own roller coaster, then your harness could be things like your skills. It could be your team or mentor at work. You're observing the office dynamics or the industry trends, or even your own work environment, leaning into new projects, new roles, new opportunities, new doors, new yeses, daring to speak up, to innovate, to be creative, to even stand alone sometimes because you recognize that I'm standing on my values, and then overcoming the challenges. How are you leveraging this acronym, these principles in your work, your life, your home? And that's an example. So I want to take you through an example of life and an example of home. If you're looking at me, then you're seeing this also written on your screen. But if not, I want you to listen intently. In life, your harness could be your family, your friends, your faith. Observing your emotions and your growth, your small wins, your maneuvering through life, leaning into these new experiences, even new connections and new relationships, then daring to dream, to love out loud, to laugh out loud, to recognize my faults out loud, to say, hey, this happened to me too, and this is what I'm going to do as a result of these things here. Right? Then navigating life and recognizing that, hey, this thing is a journey and I'm all in. What could this look like at home? Your harness could be your routines, right? It could be your loved ones. It could be your personal space. It could be your occupancy. It could be how you decorate your house because it feels a certain kind of way. It could be observing your needs and your boundaries. It could be recognizing that, hey, my boundary is too wide, and in this piece of life, while I'm in school, or while I'm doing this project, or while I'm navigating how to start my own business, while I'm writing my book, I'm going to have to draw a closer boundary around me because I need that space, because I know that once this thing is done, I am ready to soar to my next plateau. And I want you all to be able to think about that. So then leaning into rest, into joy, daring to create, to express myself creatively, academically. What does that look like for you? Overcoming conflicts and misunderstandings in life. It could be navigating your space. So as you think about this acronym, it's more than just the surface. It's how am I holding on? How am I holding on inside of my own life? And then what is that going to look like on this thing that might be a roller coaster? With that, I want to pause and go ahead and open it up in case there was someone else who wanted to say something.
Lolita, it's Linnell Burns. Good morning.
Good morning, friends.
I love that you're pausing.
I thank you. Linnell has given me that, you guys. She always used to say, you need to breathe a little bit and let the people in. Thank you.
I know it's uncomfortable. It's like it's a hard thing to wait and allow people the space to process, right? Because it's really about the processing. It's not so much that people aren't engaged, but we have to think about all the stuff that you've given us, all the goodness. So kudos to you. But here's what I love about what you said. I love the fact that you said, my professor told me to submit it, and I had to do the work and realize why I wasn't doing what I was saying I was doing. Why was I preaching to the choir, but yet I wasn't doing the thing that I needed to do in order to get to the next level. And when you get to that level of awareness, it's so refreshing because now you can operate from a different mindset. And I just love that you shared that with us, because that was such a vulnerable moment, but it was also a breakthrough moment for you. So go ahead and do your thing, girl. Kudos, Dr. Lolita.
Thank you.
This is Lolita. So I'll go ahead and pass it to the next person.
Oh, thank you so much, Linnell. You know, sometimes it's funny. People say, tell me all the time that I've got to stop talking about what it is that I'm doing, because I do a number of different things. And sometimes when people have it out of context, then they feel like I can't give them all of me inside of different spaces. And the reality of why I share with you all and share with the world what I'm doing is really all about accountability to me. When I say leverage the power of your voice, I firmly believe that if I don't talk about it, it doesn't hold me accountable. The reason I haven't stopped what I'm doing right now is because I've told each and every one of you all that I'm all in. I've told you all that I will ask for help when the time is here. So you all are holding me accountable and are cheerleaders right behind me. And how dare I stop? How dare I not press? So that's one reason why I continue to leverage my voice. But the other is because sometimes, and I firmly believe this, is that if you don't talk about certain aspects of your life, you don't even know where to ask for help. And sometimes people jump in because they want to help be that harness for you. Sometimes they hear you saying something and they say, oh my gosh, Lolita, I heard you say that and I think I can help you on your journey. You didn't even know you needed that harness right there, but they heard it because they have already experienced it. So I will continue to share my story. And I'll tell you, sometimes it's not easy because people make assumptions based on that and then they treat you accordingly. I've had many doors closed to me because people say you're not ready because you're doing too many things. I don't need help to manage the time and what I say yes to. What I do need help with is sometimes how to dig a little deeper and smarter, I'll just say. And sometimes we do have to challenge our no. So I do believe that some people have the right framework in mind when they say for this journey right here, like this piece of your journey, you got to stop. But in essence, I'm going to keep it going because I'm all about the coaching cocktails and conversations. Listen, we only have one more minute, you guys. And so I just want to say thank you so much. Was there somebody who wanted to say something real quick?
Oh, sorry, I was driving. I was just going to say, like, you hold yourself accountable, Lolita. I'm in the car, so I wasn't able to hear the meat and potatoes, but it just reminded me of people are like, oh, you're so transparent. I'm like, yeah, because it helps me. Never, ever, ever have I been transparent and somehow, some way didn't hold myself accountable or, didn't work through something. And it's like, so I love that. It's like, it is our accountability partner.
Absolutely, it is. And the other thing I will tell you, though, that I need to get smarter about, and I will say that somebody did tell me this the other day, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm not doing that, is leveraging this amazing community for my research. And so I got to figure out the how I'm going to do that. But guys, I want to bring you further into my amazing roller coaster ride. And I think that each of you all can help. And I just got to figure out what the ask is. So I can't wait. And I want to say thank you so much. I think this was great. Make sure you go back and listen in to the HOLD, hold, and then the ON, on. Hold on, because this roller coaster ride is going to keep on going with or without us. All right. Thanks, guys.